This episode has been brought to you from the DGMS Studios, home of Don't Get Me Started, Lethal and Mully Live and Surftown. Found at Spotify, Amazon, Apple Music and wherever you listen to your podcast. Welcome to Lethal and Mully Live, the podcast where we look into the wild, the weird and the wonderful. I'm Lethal.
And I'm Mully. Together, we're your guides through the chaotic universe of pop culture, current affairs, interviews, and everything in between.
Each week, we'll bring you the hottest topics, the craziest stories, and interesting guests. We have debates, laughter, and maybe a few surprises along the way.
Whether you're tuning in from your car, your couch, or wherever you get your podcast fix, we are here to entertain, inform, and keep you company.
So grab your favourite snack, settle in, and get ready for a wild ride. It's time to get lethal. And remember, stay curious and keep it real.
And we have a very special guest with us today. We have young Zack. Now, the reason he's a special guest is because he is Gen Z. And, of course, Lethal and myself, we're a little bit older. I'd like to refer to myself as a veteran. But these days you hear so much about baby boomers and Generation X, and now we've got Gen Z. And it's like, here's this young guy's coming to the studio. Let's talk to him and get to the bottom of some of these labels. And let's see if they're real. And let's see if he is a typical Gen Zer. And if the characteristics of Gen Z are correct, let this young guy have a say about it. So, Zack, DGMS Studios for Lethal and Mully Live.
G'day, Keith. Hello, Lee.
Nice to see you, Jack. How you been, mate?
I've been pretty good, thanks.
Yeah, he looks like a
Gen Z.
Gen Z, for sure. Love your hair, mate.
Oh, thank you.
Did you hear it?
Trying to grow it long.
Yeah, he wants to be a baby boomer. Zack,
I don't think.
Zack, how old are you?
I'm 15. I was born in 2009, which is right at the end of Gen Z and the beginning of Gen Alpha.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I know, I love it.
We'll keep that in mind. All right, so you've just got into the end of Gen Z.
Got in.
Are you happy about that, or would you rather be in Gen Alpha?
I don't really feel like Gen anything is important. Humans choose their characteristics, not like when they were born. You're not a better human or a worse human when you were born. I mean, when you're born does influence what technologies you have, what beliefs you have, but it really, you choose what you believe in the end.
Now tell me, Zack, at school, are you the minority or the majority from your perspective, your point of view, which you've just explained?
I don't know. I just don't think kids really think about it. Like, a lot of people think about it, but usually kids just, they don't care. They're living their lives. They're doing whatever they've grown up doing, whatever their parents have told them to do, or whatever they themselves want to do, or any outside influences. But they just don't care. It's like, oh, I'm Gen Z, I need to do this. Or I'm Gen Alpha, I need to do this. It's whatever they want.
I didn't even know I was a baby boomer till about 6 years ago.
Well, you're a pretty young one, Lee. I think you must have only just scraped in as well. No, I think you would have been you would have been one of the first.
Baby boomer.
Yeah, you would have been one of the first.
They're meant to be the most profitable, but I'm broke.
Hey, oh, geez. Oh, well, let's get this podcast paying for itself, and, you can have a holiday
Bring it on.
in Hawaii regularly.
Anyway, it's not about us, Mully.
I know.
Carry on, Zack, because I'm really interested in what you have to say, because I'm impressed at the moment by just the fact that he's bringing forward that humans name it, and it's just when you're just born. But it seems, is there a lot of this at school that they do say I'm a Gen Z or Gen Alpha?
No, it's the generation itself doesn't say, oh yeah, I'm Gen Alpha, or oh yeah, I'm Gen Z. Usually they say, Gen Alphas suck. I hate Gen Alphas. Or I hate Gen Zers.
Wow.
Or I hate Gen Xers. It's usually like, I hate the other generations, but I don't really care about my own.
Do you think they understand what it means?
Not really. It's just people don't, like I said, people don't care. They're just living their life.
Now, I've just done a quick search here on Google God, who apparently is all-knowing and sees everything. And I've typed in, what are some of the characteristics of Generation Z? Now, I'd be very interested in your comments, Zach, after I read these out, for you to say, yeah, they are true, no, it's not. Or following up on Lee's question, do you think that you guys talk about this and this is an accurate reflection of Gen Zers? All right?
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Digital natives. In other words, you grew up with computers and the internet.
Yes, 100%.
And you're proficient in that?
I wouldn't say I'm tech savvy. Like I can work with the internet.
Okay.
I was grown up with it. It's not a problem for me.
What about this one? Diverse and inclusive. Now, they're loaded terms these days because of social values in the modern era of 2024, 2025. But the diverse thing means that there's a great variety of different people, different ethnicities and a way of looking at things. And also inclusive meaning, we're just going to all be together and include everybody. Not forgetting about all the political and cultural war stuff that goes on with that.
Yep.
Would you say Gen Zs are more embracive of the diversity and inclusivity of different people?
No, I would say that, again, Gen Z, when you're a Gen Z, you're not like, oh, I'm inclusive. I think of all ethnic people and all religions and everything like that. It's how your parents raise you and what beliefs you grow around. If you grow around parents like mine that believe in diversity and believe in all that, that's what you will reflect. But if you grow around parents that don't, that's what you reflect as well. So we're not, just because we're Gen Z, we're not accepting. But I definitely think that we grow around it because, it's the modern day and age. You're most likely going to see people of different walks of life, unless you live in Sunshine Beach.
Which, for our listeners, is an exclusive part of Noosa here in Queensland. The whole thing about inclusivity and diversity as a cultural, social value that we're supposed to have in this new time of political correctness, which we've had now for quite a good many years. Would you say that that's actually had a very real impact on young people, Gen Z, as your age? Do you think that they are open to accepting other people, or do you think they're just as intolerant as everybody else normally seems to be?
Bit of both. It depends. It depends if you grow around the belief that we should accept everyone or that we shouldn't accept everyone. In my experience in my school days, there was still racism, there was still sexism, there was still a lot of these old-fashioned beliefs coming out of people, and that is for a multitude of different reasons, how they're grown up, what they've been seeing online, all of that. But also, there are a lot of people who are like, yeah, we should be inclusive, or hey, you shouldn't say that about this guy because of the colour of their skin or who they choose to date or whatever. It doesn't, in my belief, it doesn't matter. We should treat people as humans and we should treat people based on what they do to us and to other people. We shouldn't treat them based on who they are their characteristics or who they choose to date or anything like that.
Oh, no, well said, mate. Your parents have obviously done a good job with you, so they're to be commended. Now, we know too that bullying's pretty bad for your job. Well, it's always been there, hasn't it? But, we're hearing about it a lot these days because of what's been going on with social media. Would it be fair to say that that's an indication that desire to get young people to be more tolerant and accepting of each other is failing? Do you think that the message hasn't got through for young people at all, that they're actually not as tolerant and as accepting of other people as they should be?
No. I think bullying will always exist, and usually, in some cases, bullying, if it's because of the colour of one's skin or any of the other diversity stuff, you bully someone because you don't like them, usually. And in rare cases of racial bullying or bullying because a person is part of the LGBTQ community, which do exist and is more prominent now because I would say that it's more open. People are more open about being LGBTQ+. And I think there's more people of diverse backgrounds coming into schools. So different types of bullying will exist, but usually it boils down to, if I'm bullying you, I don't like you, or there's something about you that I don't like, or there's something about you that makes me jealous, or any of the multitude of reasons why people bully.
Loud and clear. Now, I've only got about 3 more points. Then I'm going to hand it over to Lee, and maybe he can make a comment or you can talk even further. But I just want to see, what you're thinking about these characteristics that Google has thrown up. Another value is that Gen Z have value flexible. That means they'll just go along with, oh, yeah, that's a good idea, rather than saying, that's wrong, that's right. They can be flexible in how they evaluate things, and how they judge it to be good or bad, black and white. Do you think that's fair?
Yes, actually, I do think that's fair. I mean,
that's a fair comment.
It's a fair comment. I've seen a lot of people my age have been influenced by the online sphere and what other people say to them. And like, you know what, now that I'm thinking about it, that is right. Or if other people saying something is like, no, actually that's wrong. It's flexible, and even myself, but also kind of is just learning for some people. Some people are like, oh, I'm learning that this is right and this is wrong, or so it's a flip-floppy for everyone, but I believe that is a fair statement.
What about this one? Entrepreneurial.
Unless you count wanting to be TikTok and YouTube famous as entrepreneurial, I just don't believe. Walking around my school, I haven't heard many people, yeah, I'm going to open a takeaway business, or I'm going to start a wallet company, or any of the other entrepreneurial things. Usually it's all, yeah, I'm going to become social media famous, like my favorite influencer, Mr. Beast. You know?
Is that your favourite influencer?
Oh, no, I don't like, I can't stand them.
Just that word, influencer.
Oh, yeah, I break out in boils listening to that word as well.
And unfortunately, it's true. I've seen influencers influence so many of my peers. And it's
but they'd only influence them from what I can gauge in terms of trends, not really principles that alter their lives.
No, I have seen, there was this popular influencer back in, it must have been 2022, called Andrew Tate, and he spread the belief that men are the pinnacle and they're the alphas, and everyone else, especially women, are beneath us and should, conform to what we want. And the kids in my school loved it, and they truly believed it. And I had a kid stand up and say that doing bad things to women was all right.
Wow.
It was an all right thing to do. And he stood up and he said that, and everyone in class, well, all of the women in class, including, and me as well, was like, I can't believe you said that just because a guy on the internet said, yes, just because you were born as a male, you are 1,000 times better than everyone else.
So they are influencing.
They are, unfortunately, some of these influences with, no matter what, political belief you have, they can influence impressionable children, yeah.
And they have not been able to impress young, impressionable Zack.
No, not really. I sometimes I can look at stuff and be like, oh, I didn't know about that. Or they can teach me new things, but I have not politically swayed in any of my beliefs just because someone online said, your political beliefs are wrong, or this is correct, you should follow this. I'm like, no.
Okay, what about this? Gen Z also prioritises social consciousness, according to Google. Or they just don't care.
Could I have the definition of social consciousness? I haven't heard that
I was
word
waiting
before.
for that.
Fair enough. In terms of being able to pass an opinion about what's going on in society around them, including politics, financial hardship, jobs, opportunities, what's happening with your families, schools.
That stumps me because I know that there are some people that definitely do, but I don't think they do a very good manner. They're like, oh, my political beliefs is right, your political beliefs are wrong. But I don't think anyone does in Gen Z do social consciousness all that well.
I wonder where they got this information from.
Well, Google's thrown this up, so I'm assuming AI has done the research quickly on this, and I think they've got the generations mixed up. Because let me just outline a few other things here. Career growth, financial stability, and political engagement, and ethnical. These are not really big things that a 14, 15, 16-year-old kid normally talks about. For example, when I said that to Zack then, social consciousness, he goes, oh, I'm stumped. What is it? So I think this might be characteristics of the generation before you, which was X. Is that correct?
I can't remember generations all that
No.
well.
I've lost track of them.
Yeah, there's too many.
It's too many.
I think it's every 15 years, isn't it, or 20 years then a new one comes along. So what's the newest one now? That's Alpha.
I believe it's, Gen Alpha.
Gen Alpha.
What's the characteristics of that? Hang on, I'll ask Google again.
But at school, do you have a lot of friends? Like you have a big circle of friends?
Oh, I'm very lonely.
You're very lonely.
I only have one friend. I used to have more at the beginning of the year, but faded away.
Right, okay. And what about your teachers? How's your relationship with the teachers?
They're not particularly. I'm not a kid that likes engaging with teachers all too much. If there's a teacher that I really like, I'll engage with them. If there's a teacher I don't like, or I just feeling nothing about them, like no strong opinions, I'll just sit back and listen to them teach.
So I've noticed you've got a mobile phone.
Yes.
Now, can you be without that mobile phone longer than an hour?
Yes, I sometimes I go on trips to like Australia Zoo and sea life, and I just don't bring it because I don't want to be one of those people that just has their phones up to their face the whole time taking pictures.
Because there's an app, or not so much before, but now you can go onto it and you can look at it and it tells you how many times you pick the phone up.
That's cool. I've never seen that.
Yeah, and then and my son told me about it. I said, it won't be that much. He goes, well, next time you try. And I tried. I thought, wow. So, but they have mobiles in schools now. And I have grandchildren, older, a bit older than you. She would not give up her phone. She has to have a phone. Do you know how to work that phone? Do you know how to Bluetooth it? Do you know how to send text and script, and then you can put it onto a computer? Is that Generation Z? Is that the ones that do the most tech savvy? I hope that you're enjoying the podcast and the content that we're bringing to you each week. I want to take a moment to invite you to support the show. Your contributions help us continue creating high-quality episodes, bringing in exciting guests and exploring the topics you love. Every bit helps, whether it's a small donation or signing up for our Patreon account. By supporting us, you're not just helping keeping the lights on, you're becoming part of our community and helping us grow. To show our appreciation, we offer exclusive perks, behind-the-scenes content, and so much more for our supporters. So if you love what we do and you want to see us thrive, please consider signing up at buzzsprout.com/don't get me started. Support the show. Thank you for being part of our journey, and let's keep the conversation going.
I would say, yes, I do know how to do all of those things. And kind of because I'm Generation Z, I've grown up with this. And it's a part of modern day life, no matter what generation you are in now. Like, it doesn't matter if you are baby boomers, Gen X, millennials, doesn't matter.
Millennials is another.
You will have to use technology in your day-to-day life unless you're out there living in the woods.
And do you like technology?
I think technology is a complicated thing. It's a thing of many goods and a thing of many evils.
It's the devil and God at the same time.
Yeah, it's like the classic, angel and devil on your shoulder.
So how many hours a day would you look at your mobile phone?
I actually know this because my parents supervise my phone. They have a little app that controls it. They can turn it off if they feel like I've been on it for too long. And they've set a little time limit on my phone. So if I go beyond this time, it just automatically turns off.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. See, the thing us baby boomers learning, talking to Gen Zers. What about how much time? Okay, that's your phone, but let's call it screen. Tablets.
Time.
Yeah, screens with mobile phone, that's a screen. Tablets a screen. Computers are a screen. So all up during the day, how much screen time would you have?
I would spend most of my day on screen since I do school. Online school, and then afterwards I do homework online and a lot of my social life since I'm on online schools and most of my friends live in Brisbane. So I usually socialize online, like I talk to them on Discord and I play games with them, and that's my form of socializing. So I would say I spend most of my day on it looking at a screen.
Now, you said a little bit earlier that you are lonely, but you've just mentioned that you have some friends, quite a few friends, or just some?
Just bare minimum, I think I have 2 or 3.
So you have 2 or 3 friends and you engage with them online.
Yep.
Does that help you to alleviate your loneliness, or does that accentuate it because you can't be there with them to have fun with them?
No, every time I spend time with my friends, it alleviates the loneliness, but it's getting less and less frequent.
But when you're together, say you get together, are you together, you talk and you go do things, or you go cycle or swim or go to the beach, or it still carries on via your phone when you're together?
Usually carries on online.
Isn't that incredible?
But I do have a habit of making sure that I can get out to Brisbane and spend some in-person time with them. And usually I love swimming. Swimming's probably my favourite thing to do. And so I always make sure to go out every now and then when I'm in Brisbane and have a swim because it's so good.
Because even I find it tough with my phone and with technology because I love technology. I think it's incredible. With AI, I'm just enthralled with what's going to happen next. But the thing is that I came from that generation just before. I think Sam and Joe.
They'd
Tony,
be millennials.
Yeah, they were at the beginning of it, and I think Luke was 5, so 5, 6. But we were the ones before that, or I was one before that, had no idea. So we had to really just be ourselves and talk and communicate. Sometimes I think I would like to have had that opportunity where I could use that to communicate, because I think I could communicate a lot better through that medium than verbally.
It's really cool to have because it means that you can have friends from all different places, because usually you would have friends in your area, and when you went on holiday you would make like maybe a holiday friend. But now that can just be a friend since you can, hey, what's your phone number, and I can text you, I can call you. Or a lot of what I myself and my friends do is you can say, hey, what's your Discord? And then just put it in, and then suddenly, bam.
What does it say, Molly? Did you get it up, Google it up?
Yeah, I think it's way off the mark because it sounds like it's the characteristics of somebody like Elon Musk.
Oh.
Reactions to the previous generation, prioritising social issues, redefining education and careers, learning how to stay safe online, confident consumers, entrepreneurial, globally aware, future-focused, digital natives, independent. They're strong characteristics. Generation Alpha are quite young.
They're super young.
So, I think this is way off the mark. But leaving that aside for the moment, want to know how you think generally. Now, all of these generations that we've mentioned, baby boomers, Gen X, Gen Y, millennials, etc., have a certain characteristic how they think about things. What would you say would be a very typical outlook that Generation Z would have about life in general?
Oh, it's so terrible. Oh, boomy. Oh, whoa, oh, whoa.
Well, nothing's changed then. They're still saying the same all these years now.
Yeah, it's
Poor
like
me.
it's like the world is ending. Everyone's every year, every decade, every century, everyone's saying the world's going to end at some point, but the world still keeps going on. And I think it's the same that everyone thinks that their life is so terrible, and everything that's going on in the world is so scary, and it's really in the dumps. And
so you're telling me that a lot of the conversation that you guys would have, when I say you guys, let's stop using the term Generation Z, but people your age, the conversation that you have, there's a lot of pessimism.
yeah, usually it's not about like big topics, about like world wars. It's usually like, oh, someone didn't do this, or someone didn't do that, or this didn't work out for me. It's usually a lot of complaining from what I've heard.
Does anybody ever say to you, wow, I just found out why Einstein's so famous because of his theory of relativity. I just found out why Hitler lost the war. Or, did you know about trigonometry, what it really means? Any of your friends talk like that?
No, not at all.
None of mine do either, unfortunately.
It's the same thing. But like when I was growing up, your age, 15, all I wanted to do is get a girlfriend. That's all I wanted to do. But there was also a thing of nuclear war. There was that. I grew up, I was 15, I was in the UK, and your dad would know too, he's a fellow POM, of the IRA, of getting blown up or getting some form of an attack. And Israel and Iran or Iraq was always going to kick off. And so there's always something like you're saying, which is interesting. But 15, you'll get far more information through the phone or on a screen instantaneously, where I and other people had to go to a library to find out stuff. We had to turn the radio on to listen to what's happening.
Yeah.
We had no other form or implement to use to get that information. But you can pick up your phone and you can open it and it's right.
It's so amazing and so cool. It's just such a shame that no one in my generation uses it like that. I don't think I've ever seen anyone apart, unless it's like for a school report, basically being like, oh, I heard someone say something about Napoleon, let me look that up. It's always like, I'm gonna look up how many sausages I can fit in my mouth without dying, you know? Something stupid like that. Or looking up pop culture stuff that they really like, or online shopping.
Yeah, and so they should be, I think, because you are young and enjoy that. Why would you want to get involved with all the other crap? But yeah, how many sausages you can fit in your mouth sounds good to me.
So it's trigonometry or what Napoleon was up to. But anyway, I'm of another generation quite clearly. Now, here's another question, Zach. Would you say that your peers have a good view of the future? Do they talk about it?
Unless it's, I'm kind of worried that we're all going to die.
From what?
From nuclear war and everything that they're hearing, and you hear in the news. Oh, Ukraine's gone to war with Russia. Oh, Israel and Palestine are at war, and then there's like, someone's threatening to bomb someone else. Because you can go on browsers and then they'll recommend you like news outlets, and you can just see from their headlines, it's always like, Putin has said he's preparing to send missiles over to the US. And I'm like, what? Wait, what? But it never happens. And it's just fear-mongering. It's so easy to get scared when stuff like this is happening.
It's called misinformation, disinformation, and clickbait.
Yes.
So you just want to click on it. Oh, what's that mean? And that's all it is.
So many news articles I found have just said these wild headlines, and I'm like, what is that? And then the contents are fairly tame.
And it served its purpose, so you clicked on it.
Now, when I've asked you what you guys talk about, I've done quite a bit of teaching recently, and there's two questions that young people ask me the most. They come up all the time, and they will surprise you. First question would be, when is World War III going to happen? Or do you think it's going to happen? Yeah. So clearly you guys talk about that a lot.
It's very easy to get scared. Every generation can get scared when it was like that, like Lee said, with the IRA in England, and with the whole Iraq, Iran, all that kind of stuff. There's always going to be wars, and people are always going to be scared that it sparks the newest war, the final straw.
So that's where that question would come from.
Yeah.
All right, the next question, which probably is the one that I'm asked the most, is, can I go to the toilet?
Yeah.
Now, where would that one come from? I'm bored. This lesson is crap. I want to get out of here.
I'll be honest, I did sometimes like, okay, we're not learning anything. This lesson's lagging a bit. I'm just going to go pop out. But usually I said, may I go to the bathroom when I needed to. But some people did it and they wouldn't be back for 5 minutes.
Oh, try 15 or 20.
Yeah.
Some people would attempt as much as they can to miss the entire class if they could. Possible.
I just thought, that's a bit of a... I love the way that you qualified the World War III question, that that you're scaremongering that you hear and all these reports that come through on the media and the news, et cetera, et cetera. And I just wondered what your thoughts were about why can I go to the toilet? Because obviously, the lesson's either not hitting the mark, or the kids are bored, or there's not a value on learning and education like there used to be.
There, I would say.
Or if there has ever been.
I would like to, maybe refer this to everyone. How did you feel about learning when you were in your teenage years? Because usually when you're a teenager, and I think this is for everyone, you don't usually give a toss about it.
It's a good question, isn't it?
Good question. Do you want to go?
Yeah, well, I'm a bit challenged by that. Good on you, Zach. You put me on the spot here. I probably wasn't that good at really wanting to learn. I found it difficulty because I'm dyslexic. Yeah, I probably wouldn't have been much different from a lot of your mates at that age. That would be my best answer.
Well, mine, I really loved school because it gave me somewhere to go, and I built a lot of friendships there, which still carries on now. I love sport. I'm competitive, as Molly across the desk would know. And I wanted to achieve. because mine was family orientated because I was the youngest. And so I didn't want to replicate what my elder siblings have done. I wanted to do something on my own.
Yep.
And I've been on my own for a long time. So school took a fair chunk of that and I embraced it and I loved it.
Yeah, that's really interesting. But I feel like the reason why so many people don't care about school anymore is because of the internet, because of Google, the access to all of the information in the world, whether it be true or not true. And people don't care about maths. The constant thing is, you know what, sir? I've got a calculator. Why do I need you? It's why everyone's thinking. It's like, why do I have to learn about all of this stuff? Why don't I need to learn about multiplication and division
I feel you.
when I have a calculator? Yeah. And also, with the professions that are coming up, people are just hearing, this guy's making millions of dollars from playing games all day, sitting on his desk and playing competitive games, or just some people even making money by being bad at games or just having an erratic personality. And when you see that, well, why do I need school when I can be making millions out of playing games? That's the thing. So many kids, including me at one point, was like, I don't need to worry about being a historian or any of these other professions. I can just hop online and play Elden Ring for about 3 hours, and then boom, the cash is rolling in. But that's unrealistic. It's not how things go when you're live streaming or when you're doing influencer stuff. They need to actually weirdly work hard. I'm sure, as you guys know from working on the podcast, it does take time and effort, and it's not how Gen Z think it is, where you can just hop online, bam, press record, and then play a game.
But it's same as children like my daughter. Like, she wanted to be like my wife many years ago, like now. She didn't realise that it's a process you have to go through to get up to that point, to achieve it. It doesn't become on your plate. You can't go and buy it at the shop. Experience. Oh, there you go. That's $34. Thank you. And then you can wear it, you're experienced. But Zach, tell me, where do you see yourself in the next 3 years, 4 years?
Oh, well, I'm hoping university. And so is my family. That's a big reason why I'm engaging in school and why I'm how I am at school, is because of my family are saying, we want you to go and we want you to achieve and we don't want you to skate through school. And they've told me straight, they're saying it will not benefit you in the long run.
Wise parents.
Very much so.
And what do you like studying? What's your favourite subjects?
My favourite subject is media arts. And
okay.
And I want to make movies when I grow up.
Excellent.
But I know that that's a very hard career. So my backup would be an historian.
Okay.
I love history.
Yeah.
Good.
I loved history as a child.
It's so interesting. Just
filmmaking, that's even better. Oh, that you got me thinking now.
Yeah, and so was the reason why Hitler lost the war when he had the mightiest army. Nobody could match him. Why did he lose?
Because he watched a movie. He watched the movie on Russia.
Now, Zach, what would you, as we come to the end of this talk, and mate, it's just been great to have you in the studio. It's been terrific to listen to the way that you've spoken, quite articulate, and I'm sitting here thinking this little kid's got a bit of a wise head on his shoulder. Also, I'm thinking his parents have done a very good job putting some great values into you, so full credit to them. Full credit to you for listening to them and becoming the young guy that you are. In wrapping up, what would be your message to the older generations before you? Because they always tend to think that they're wiser. Oh, we didn't do that. We worked harder. Kids these days, blah, blah, blah. What would be your message to the older, more cynical, critical generations?
Every generation kind of sucks. Every generation, when they're in their youth, is the worst.
It's the worst.
Because when you're a teenager, you suck. No matter who you are, there are always parts of you that suck. Even me, if you talk to my parents, I'm sure they can tell you a multitude of reasons why they don't like my behavior sometimes. And that's just how being a teenager goes. You shouldn't hold it against them. I feel that there are definitely a new load of issues with the internet and influencers and all of that. I'm sure their parents, the generation before them, would have said that there was a whole bunch of issues in their time.
Well, Zach, this is the first time I met you, and I'm really impressed, I might say. And not only with the parents, because I know your parents and they've done an amazing job, but it also takes you to listen to them and also to act upon who you are and recognise who you are. I think you're going far, mate. I think you've set yourself up to go forward at such a rate. I think you're going to be a very, very successful person. And in doing that, Zach, we're going to give you, as we do always, biggest round of applause. Well, Zach, it's been great. Thanks for coming in. You've been a star.
Thank you.
You have indeed. Thanks, mate.